Have you been interested in wholesaling real estate but don't know where to start? Here is a simple step-by-step plan to start doing deals this year. Hey, my name is Steve Trang, and most of you probably know me from the Real Estate Disruptors podcast, where I've interviewed the top real estate investors from across the country. So what's wholesale real estate? Wholesaling real estate is the process of being the middleman who works between a distressed homeowner and the end buyer. The wholesaler finds the property and then finds a buyer to purchase the property. The difference between the purchase price and what you sell the property for is what the wholesaler keeps. That's called your assignment fee. For example, if you buy a property for $120,000 and then find an investor who's willing to pay you $150,000 for the property, that $30,000 difference is the assignment fee that you, the wholesaler, gets to keep. Now, that's the concept of wholesaling real estate. Here's how you can begin wholesaling this year. Step 1, identify the market you want to wholesale in. This could be your local market or a completely different market, depending on where you live. For another market, we call that virtual wholesaling. Now, when you're choosing a market, there's some things to consider: population size, the local economy, demographics, and the average house price. When you do identify your market, you need to learn as much as possible about that market. For example, the average market price for the home, average days on market, the best areas in that town, whether the population is growing or shrinking, and potentially how they vote. And yeah, that matters too. And this is necessary when it comes to the next step. Step 2 is to generate leads, or in other words, find properties to buy that you can wholesale. This can be done in multiple ways. If your market is local, you can drive for dollars, which involves driving around looking for rundown properties. If you're not a local market, you can also look in the MLS. Search for properties that have been in the market for a long time or recently off market. You can also search public records, find homeowners facing foreclosure. This is something a lot of people have success with. The way I started with wholesaling was to do Google pay-per-click. I created and ran my own Google PPC campaign for years. We targeted people who search for buy my house and sell my house fast. These are people actively looking to sell and searching online for solutions to their problems. The last way is through direct marketing. A great marketing campaign I ran for the longest time was Your Home Sold Guaranteed or I'll Buy It. This was hugely successful for me because at that time I was a realtor and a wholesaler. So I was finding motivated homeowners. When they're looking for a guaranteed sale and they're raising their hand, for sure, they must sell. Now you've found a couple of properties that you want to wholesale. The next step is to get them under contract. What we like to do in our wholesale company is take all these properties and cold call them. Cold calling allows you to talk to multiple homeowners in a day. If you cold call 100 homeowners in a day, more than likely, at least 1 or 2 will be interested in wholesaling. Which leads us to step 3, making an offer. Now, before you make your offer, it is so critically important to extract pain from the homeowner. To buy the property at the right price, you gotta have great sales skills. This is something we teach the best real estate investors in the country on a regular basis. Now, in our appointments, we have 6 basic steps. We set appropriate expectations for the homeowner. We find out all the reasons that they need to sell, figure out how much that need actually is hurting them right now, and then we negotiate based on how much they need to walk away with when they do sell their home. We also identify all the decision makers, and then we wrap up the sale, and before we run out the door with a signed contract, we prevent any kind of remorse. For all intents and purposes, we build a moat around the house so that no other wholesaler can come in and screw up our deal. On a general basis, we prefer to negotiate based on how much the homeowner is wanting to walk away with after they sell their property. At the same time, the most we'll ever pay for a home is about 75% of market value, minus repairs, and minus our targeted assignment fee of $22,000. And we teach this exact sales process in our sales community. That's only $97 a month at salesdisruptors.com. Now, once you have the contract signed, it's time to find your buyer. Step 4, finding your buyer. This can be the most nerve-wracking part of wholesaling, especially if you're a first-time wholesaler and don't have the money to buy the property yourself. Here's some of the best ways to find a buyer. We like to find buyers from the MLS, public records, InvestorLift, PropStream, Audantic, and the one that nobody talks about, loan officers. And now that you have a buyer's list, go cold call everyone on that list. Develop a relationship with them. You can also try texting or email blasts, both great ways to at least get in front of these investors at a very low cost. My favorite way of connecting with buyers is with InvestorLift. InvestorLift has a list of all of the cash buyers in the country all in one place. And if you want access to InvestorLift, just go to investorlift.com, put in Disruptors to get 10% off. You found the property, you got the assignment, found a buyer. Now it's time to close the deal. Step 5 is closing the contract for the sale. This is when you actually make your money for all the hard work you put in to facilitate this deal. And if you follow these 5 steps, you can begin wholesaling real estate right now. If you want to learn how to take your wholesale business to the next level, check out my podcast where I interview some of the top wholesalers across the country. Click this video right now to go learn more.